Hi, my name is Jose Arias Valoran, and I'm going to talk about the Dreamer movement. Imagine living your entire life in a foreign country, wanting to go to college, wanting to earn a degree, a distant living, but not being able to do so because of your immigration status. This is the face for more than 1 million dreamers, a movement that advocates college opportunities, better employment, and immigration reform. I'm going to talk about who are the dreamers, the activism, and the future of the movement. Now, most of us dreamers want the same opportunity to succeed. Dreamers, what are they? According to the Dreamers Unbound Immigration Youth Mobilization, dreamers feel like although they were born in a foreign land, that they're Americans because they were raised here in American values, in the American school system, and in American culture. And dreamers are not necessarily Latin American immigrants or foreigners. They also can be European immigrants, African immigrants, and Asian immigrants. It's just that a huge proponent of the Dreamer movement includes immigrants from Latin America. And they derived their name from the Development Relief and Education for Alien Minors, or the DREAM Act. And according to immigrationpolicy.org, the DREAM Act would have guaranteed a right of passage or naturalization for more than 1 million youths who came here and are illegal. But unfortunately, the act didn't pass, and it was introduced in the early 2000s, like 2001, and it was reintroduced again around 2011. But the act didn't pass in both seats of Congress. It did pass recently. It did pass in the Senate, but not in the House of Representatives, and the act was just left to die, basically. How a New Class of Activists is Changing Immigration Politics by the National Journal. Gabriela Pacheco, or Gabby Pacheco, is our own local activist for the DREAM Act. According to the Dream.us, she was an Ecuadorian immigrant who came here at a very young age, and she has known no other country but the United States of America. And she was, like most of the dreamers, was brought up in the American school system and American values. And she speaks fluent English like most of the dreamers. But she couldn't have the same opportunities as a resident or a citizen. She, with a bunch of other Florida activists, went to Washington, D.C. to try to convince Congress to pass the DREAM Act. When that didn't work, she also helped kickstart the Dream.us, which is a website that finds scholarship opportunities for people who are dreamers or other immigrants or other immigrants who want to go to college. She also helped kickstart United We Dream, which is basically what the Dreamer movement has evolved into our organization called United We Dream. Dreamers think that their situation is unfair, according to theathletic.com. And most dreamers have been brought up in the American have been brought up to be Americans. But unlike American citizens or American residents, they don't have the same opportunities when it comes to college and employment. Most of these people do not have workers permit, and they cannot go to college. Well, they can go to college. The issue is the amount that they have to pay. Compared to a Florida resident, they have to pay twice as much per credit hour. According to how immigration became illegal, the failure of the DREAM Act has not really discouraged the Dreamer movement. In all actuality, it has increased the support for the movement by the immigrant and Hispanic community. And also, it has led to states taking action and giving more opportunities to the local immigrant population. And also, President Barack Obama had to intervene and he passed a deferred action. What is the future of the movement? Well, until the DREAM Act actually passes, not much can be said. But the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, according to Access of Higher Education for Undocumented and Documented Students, is basically the DREAM Act 2.0. It's a deferred action that at any given moment could be taken away by the next president. It's not official and it's not United States law. The deferred action basically means that yes, it's a form of legalization, but they can't really leave the country and they don't necessarily have the same rights as American residents or citizens. It just guarantees that they're legal here for 2 years, that they have a worker's permit for 2 years, and in some states, they do have to pay the same amount as an American resident, but not every state guarantees that. According to the Dream.us, though, this website is advocating that dreamers will graduate with a career ready degree over the course of the next decade. And the Dream.us wants to encourage more people to go to college. But the future of the movement, according to United We Dream.org, is still growing, and they're still advocating for the Dream Act to pass. And that's pretty much it on what Uniting We Dream stands for. They just want the deferred action to pass in both branches of Congress. In conclusion, I talked about the Dreamer movement, activism, the future of the movement, and Dreamers activists want the same opportunities to succeed in America. And a quote by Maria Gabriela Gabi Pacheco: "As a dreamer, I was given an opportunity to obtain an education and it changed my life. I believe that I'm working towards everyone being given the same opportunity."